Hello gang, welcome to the channel, and here we are on another top 10 video. And in this top 10 video I'm gonna showcase the top 10 tier 4 characters for PvP game modes. PvP game modes are considered like Timeline Battle, Alliance Conquest, Other World Battle and Alliance Tournament, and I'm gonna show you if you care about going into the PvP mode of the game mostly, and if you love to play, which is the top 10 tier 4 characters to focus on building and what you need for them, if you need their artifact, what CTP you need, if you need the CTP, or they can perform even without the CTP. And I'm gonna go one by one until the top one, and also in the end I'm gonna mention like 5 super supports that they are super cheap and you can have them without being tier 4. It's just Awaken and tier 3 characters, and they are super cheap to have and enchant the output of these tier 4s. I'm gonna show you. We are in a state of the game that there are like 33 tier 4s, guys. 33 tier 4s. After 1 year and a half of being with the tier 4s, we have already 33. So it's really hard, to go as a new player or generally as a player and focus your materials and the characters you're building on specific game modes. So that's why I'm making this list, and I hope I'm gonna help you decide what to build next for your PvP performance, to boost your PvP performance actually. But before we go to the top 10, I want you to make sure that you have smashed the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know down below in the comments which is the next tier 4 you're building and you're planning on build for PvP, or generally your next tier 4 actually. So yes, there is also in my description our Discord server where you can participate there and get yourself some crystal coupons. There is a giveaway going on every 2 weeks, and there's multiple people help you get there to get your GBR clears daily. They can carry you or mythic rifts to get some artifacts from the artifacts that we're gonna see here that they are must have for a lot of characters. So let's go into the first character and the number 10 in my list for PvP. Number 10, it's Blue Dragon, and Blue Dragon is a character that it's really long time in the game, and she was one of the first PvP characters in the game, a kind of PvP. She's hybrid actually, and the fact that she has her own leadership, and the leadership actually remove all debuffs for her and all the Warriors of the Sky, give her a really good advantage against generally others that don't have their own leadership. At the same time, her Awaken skill can one-shot anyone, and combined and only combined with Sunbird, which is another Warrior of the Sky, she can get a revive. And that's why she has a revive and she's on this position, because all the time for a timeline battle you need to use another support, which is Sunbird, to get the maximum value of her. You don't need her artifact, you don't need something specific, just a proccing obelisk with guard break immunity, and you can actually kill anyone after you revive the first time on your Alliance Conquest. So she's really good for Alliance Conquest and for Other World Battle. 100% she's meta there. She's like in top 10 teams for these specific game modes, but in the same time she's losing a lot on Timeline Battle and on Alliance Tournament. There's no way you can see her there. The best CTP in my opinion, it's gonna be a Mighty Destruction or a Brilliant Destruction, because you're using this penetration to one-shot the enemy and in the same time get a proc to do more damage with her Awaken skill as she's Awaken. But because, as I told you, she needs Sunbird, that makes her not being that good for this specific thing. So yes, that's why she's also at the 10th position of the top 10 of tier 4 characters, So let's go to the next one. At number 9, it's no other than Black Widow, and Black Widow, it's really cool character, and she used to be the meta for PvE. but after getting back to back like 3 to 4 speed types, you know, female speed types, Luna Snow, Gwen, Gamora, and you know, Shadow Cell, you know, she's falling behind from the meta of PvE. She's nowhere there. She's only good as a meta character for PvE as a striker after Thor and Ghost Rider. So most of the people should focus on her build to go through PvP, and you're gonna see a lot of people using her without or with her artifact. I mean, her artifact is not must have to perform for PvP. In the same time, she can be used with a CTP of Greed, with a CTP of Regeneration, or a CTP of Authority. CTP of Regeneration and CTP of Authority is the best CTPs for her for PvE, but in the same time you can use her with a Mighty Destruction or a Mighty Greed for a more offensive build on her. Generally speaking, she is a really solid, you know, a solid unit for PvP, and if you go full on her and build her, you know, really good, she can perform really nice because of her typing, because she's kind of unique on the top 10 list. You know, she's a speed type. She and SpiderMan, it's the only 2 speed types that they are actually usable for PvP, and that gives her, you know, the position being at the top 10 and in the 9th position. She's really good for Alliance Conquest, for Otherworld Battle some days, and if you want to complete the speed type characters, you know, and for Timeline Battle, she can be a really good counter for multiple characters, but yes, she's not where close into the meta. She is a solid PvP unit 100%, and the fact that she don't have revive or don't have any immunity or something, she is all in for her dodge. You know, you need to dodge all the opponent's skills, you need to survive to do some damage, so it's kind of hard for her. I would use her for double support or something like this to help her survive through the attacks of the enemies and after do her killings. So that's for the 9th spot. And let's go to the next one. At number 8, it's Hulk, and Bruce Banner. It's out of your mind strong. He is so fat. He can one-shot actually all of the characters with his force skill, and he is actually the original PvP character of the game. When he introduced, he was really good hybrid character. He could do whatever with a PvP build, and he still can do that. He don't actually need his artifact to perform for PvE or PvP, but for PvP, you know, because this gives a bit extra of HP, you know, you could use it. It's not a must-have, but for CTPs, you want something with HP. Something with HP could be a Mighty Egg or a Mighty Regeneration. The value of the HP he's getting, you know, it's crazy, and all of his skills is using his HP to do damage. So it's like unique character on that. You want to boost his HP as much as you can. And he's actually a character for manual play on Timeline Battle. You can run around, do a force skill, and run away again. He used to be really strong, but now there is a lot of characters having immunities, having immortalities, having you know, a lot of fireframe ignores. They have the revives, so he's falling behind, being like you know, an extra character to use if there is a lot of ban characters, but for Timeline Battle. But in the same time, he's really good with the bans if someone is banned for Otherworld Battle. Also for Alliance Conquest and Alliance Tournament, he is also a really strong unit, because in the Alliance Tournament he's also getting buffed from the stage effects, and his HP, you know, goes up, so his damage transforms into a truck, and he can one-shot actually anyone for Alliance Tournament. So yes, you don't actually need for his artifact, and as I told you, HP everywhere. You need to bump his HP everywhere. Is the only character that you don't need to use physical or energy attack Urus for PvE or PvP. You want to stack him up with HP all the way, you know. So yeah, he is at the 8th position, and let's find out who is in the 7th. At number 7, it's no other than Carnage. And Carnage used to be, one of the characters I was using daily, day in, day night for PvP, for PvE. He could be used as a hybrid, but whatever you want to do with him for PvP, you need 100% his artifact. Without his artifact, he's completely useless. You can't actually take advantage of him for PvP at all, because this artifact gives him the immortality effect. You want that if you want to participate on anything like PvP. For timeline battle, he used to be really good when other characters are banned, lately, but before he was really good. For Alliance Conquest and other world battle, he's also usable there, and Alliance Tournament, but for Alliance Conquest and other world battle, he needs someone like Agent Venom to boost his damage and boost his survivability to actually kill the top meta characters. But he is an absolute menace. He can do whatever he wants, and the best CTP for him could be a Mighty Authority or a Mighty Egg, CTP of refinement, actually, yes. Also CTP of Greed, Mighty CTP of Greed, or Brilliant CTP of Authority and Refinement, Brilliant or Mighty. You can't actually use him with a normal Refinement or a normal Greed. He's bad. You need to be you need to have Mighty, so he can get the super armor, super guard break immunity from the steal ability, from the abuse ability, or from the eggs and raids, or whatever it's called. I can't actually remember. But yes, he's falling behind a lot. There is a lot of units that introduced lately, and they are really strong. But the 7th position, it's for sure, it's something that it fits to him, and he's really strong still in the game for PvE. For PvE, you don't need his artifact, but for PvP, you need his artifact 100%. Carnage is a menace for sure, and yes, that's why he's at the 7th position. And let's go to see number 6. On number 6, Thanos with his April Fool paywall uniform, actually not paywall, but seasonal uniform that cost full cost like 2000 crystals, I think. And other than the 2000 crystals, you need to wait at the April's Fool, or you can't get the uniform other way. But the good part with him is that you don't actually need his artifact, and you can use him with multiple CTPs for PvP. He needs his tier 4 to perform good for PvP, and he is really strong. He has a unique ability that he can actually one-shot every single immortality character, or he can strip off all the buffs of all enemies. So he can utilize his second skill, strip off the enemy, and if you don't kill him with his fourth skill, with his second skill, his fourth skill comes to go and ignore targeting on the enemy and destroy the enemy if he's in an iframe, or whenever in the stage he's going to be. His fourth skill is going to one-shot him. That's why this character don't need to be super tanky, and you can use him with a brilliant destruction or a mighty destruction. You can use him even as a hybrid with a mighty energy. You can use him with a mighty authority, but you need the guard break immunity and an effect to give him basically you don't need the effect of super guard break immunity, but at least a guard break immunity. So a mighty greed, a mighty authority, a mighty energy, a mighty destruction, you can use him whatever you want, and he can perform. His artifact, it's completely you don't actually, it's a skip. You don't actually need the artifact, but if you have it, it's cool. You can build him, PvE and do some PvP, but if you want to focus on PvP, you want his tier 4, because his durability and his survivability, it's kind of meh. He don't have any immortality, he don't have any revive, but only the fact that he is Thanos and he has boosted stats and he recovers with his passive, 20% of his HP, can make him survive a bit more and do another 4th skill and take with him a lot of meta characters. Most of the times you're gonna see him with double support, abusing characters against timeline battle teams that have 3 DPS. He's good for Otherworld Battle, he's good for Alliance Conquest, Alliance Tournament, and the fact that he has a really solid leadership makes him usable even without being the top character that you're going to use to kill the enemies, because he has sorry Hakai, but yes, I'm doing a video right now. 50% attack to all supervillains and 40% basic defense to all supervillains, and also remove all debuffs. So he's a solid leadership. Even if you don't have him, for PvP, you can use him as a leadership for PvP on all these game modes. Thanos is no joke. He could be, the number one if he had something like Immortality or something like Revive. But yes, he's falling behind against all these enemies. And the fact that he can strip the Immortality gives him this position here and the 6th place on the meta list for PvP. So let's go into the next one. On number 5 of our list is no other than Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider came into the game and he feels to be absolute busted. You need to have his last uniform, which is full cost 1750 crystals. For Thanos, it's 2500 actually, now I remember. I said wrong before. And with him, you need 100% his artifact if you want to compete at the top meta PvP, Timeline Battle, or Alliance Tournament or Otherworld Battle. But for Alliance Conquest, he's really good even without the artifact. I've seen people in my Discord server doing miracles with just having a CTP of Rage on him and an artifact, and no artifact actually. If you want to participate for PvP, you need a more busted build on the give him like something strong for PvP. A CTP of Conquest would be a really nice choice, but the artifact that you're gonna have, it's gonna end up being, the factor how much you're going to survive to kill the enemies. Because there is an immortality buff, you need to have like 4 and above star of it to have at least 5 seconds of immortality, and your skills come and refresh faster. Your 4th skill has a bit of high cooldown, it's 8.5 seconds cooldown as you can see, and it's the skill that do all the killing. It's the skill that do all the killing with ignore iframe, and the fact that he is really strong against the supervillains because of the buff he's getting, as you can see here, makes him the killer of everywhere. You can see him on every single game mode. As soon as the other top 4 characters are banned, you're gonna see Ghost Riders all over the place. Ghost Rider is really good with the CTP of Conquest, in the same time CTP, Mighty CTP of Conquest, Mighty CTP of Greed, or after, if you want to build him full PvP, you could use him with a Mighty Authority also, because or a Mighty Egg, because he needs something to survive through. After the immortality pops out, you need something to stand there still alive, so Greed gonna heal you up, or Mighty Egg gonna heal you up also, and in the same time Mighty Authority gonna give you the still ability to stay alive and do more force skills. Ghost Rider is all over the game. He is really strong and he totally deserve the place on big at top 5 100%. He needs others to be banned to be useful 100%, but yes, still he is top meta for Alliance Conquest, he's top meta for Otherworld Battle, and in the future we're gonna see even more Ghost Riders into Timeline when others are going to be banned. So yes, 5th place for my boy, and I couldn't say that a character would be so high on PvE and PvP in the same time after Gan Gray, So yeah, let's go to the next one. Number 4, it's no other than Peter Parker. Peter Parker is actually a character that took a huge bump when other tier 4s introduced into the game, other blast types or universal types introduced into the game, and he started having an advantage against them for PvP. You know, the type advancement that everyone that you have to follow, you know, the typing. And so Spider-Man don't actually need his artifact. His artifact, it's kind of similar to Black Widow's. It's cool to have, but in the same time you don't really care having it or not. If you want to go full PvP, a mighty regeneration or a mighty authority could be the best, but also you're gonna see a lot of people using mighty greed or mighty destruction and using him kind of hybrid. You know, with a mighty destruction he can perform really good for PvP, for PvE. Also with a mighty greed he can't, but there is a lot of people using him with a mighty greed. In my opinion, mighty regeneration is the best after mighty authority, after mighty greed, if you want to use him for PvP, and at the end mighty destruction. He's a really strong character and you can find him a lot in the timeline battle, even these days after almost 1 year being into the game. And he is a really solid unit, and the fact that he has all these dodges and all these avoids, he makes him, you know, really a pain to kill. He can hide into his iframes and he can kill anyone with his ignore targeting attacks he has. I think his invisibility, it's on his 3rd skill. No, it's on his 5th skill. Yeah, on his 5th skill and on his 1st skill. No. So yes, he can hide. Actually, he can be invisible, he can hide himself, and you can targeting him. Yes, invisibility, as you can see here. So he's a pain to kill sometimes, and he can one-shot you every single time with his 4th skill or with his 5th skill. You can see huge bumps on your HP goes down, you know, huge chunk of your HP. He's a killer 100%, and he deserves being at the top 4 for sure. He is the best speed type for PvP in the game right now. Right now, Spider-Man is the best of the best for PvP, 100%. And you can see him used for Alliance Conquest with multiple teams or timeline battle or other world battle. For Alliance tournament, you can't see him a lot because there is others being stronger and having a type advantage as combat types. But for all the others, because there is the banned characters, you know, for Otherworld battle and the timeline battle, you can see him used a lot there. So let's go to the top 3 and see who deserves to be there. Number 3, it's no other than Logan. Wolverine himself, it's out of your mind good. He can kill actually everyone. His skills are refreshing so fast, and he has low cooldowns on his massive skills, and he can go through, you know, ignore targeting with his 5th skill multiple times, while he has the healing abilities, while he has a lot of survivability. You can see here 6% every single time, and generally he's undieable. You need 100% having his artifact if you want to perform at the top PvP meta. If you don't care, you know, for being top, okay, you can use him without the artifact, but 100% I would not suggest you to focus your materials or build at all Wolverine if you're missing his artifact. He's completely useless actually. You can't go with him and kill anyone. He can die really easy from multiple characters, and the fact that he needs his immortality so much gives you the opportunity not tier 4ing him. And what I'm talking about, with his tier 4 or not, it's not like he's going to get another layer of survivability. He gonna hit harder, he gonna survive a bit more, but the point here is to have his artifact. If you don't have his artifact, he's so easy to die. He's so easy to die. Even with all these healings and survivability, he can't stay alive, but his immortality gives him more seconds, and he makes him hide into his iframes, and the enemies, it's harder to kill. For him, I'm using Mighty Greed, but Mighty Greed, Mighty Authority, Mighty Conquest, or a mighty egg also could be really good and usable with him. Mighty grid, in my opinion, it's the best to go because gives you an extra healing, so you can recover faster after the immortality goes off. You get the first heal of the immortality, the enemy keeps hitting you, so you recovers faster with the grid and the passive heal you already have. He is out of your mind good. You can see all over timeline battle teams with Wolverine, all over timeline battle, even at level 80 or tier 4, Wolverine is there for you to kill you like a dog. For Alliance Conquest, he is perhaps the #1 character. You need to focus and go against him with a team to counter him, or else he can rip off all of your metas. He can completely dismantle you, and the fact that he has immortality makes him so strong for Alliance Conquest. Because for Alliance Conquest, if you kill a character that has a revive, in the second time you're gonna fight him, the revive goes off. But with immortality, you can't do that. With immortality gonna pop out every single time you're gonna go against him, Alliance Conquest. So that means that he gonna recovers, he gonna heal, and he gonna go through his 5th skill over and over in your face, and he gonna rip through all of your teams that you're gonna use for Alliance Conquest. I had nightmares against him and against some Alliance Conquest teams I was trying to kill, multiple teams I was wasting, and Wolverine was there killing over and over and over and over. And yes, he's so strong, but all of his powers comes from his artifact, and if you don't have it, he's losing 99% of his PvP value for sure. So it's a skip if you don't have the artifact. If you have the artifact, he's top 3 100%, top 1 in my opinion for Alliance Conquest, really good for Otherworld Battle and really good for Alliance Tournament too. So let's go to the next one, and #2 of this list. On #2, Gan Gray, totally deserved with her last Dark Phoenix uniform. She is the queen for PvP, and she is the only character in this list, the first character I'm mentioning in this list, having a revive by herself. Blue Dragon, as I told you, needs Sunbird to be used, but Gan Gray gives you the opportunity to have a solid leadership for PvP, which is the remove all debuff leadership here. You can use it with all allies, so you can use here with villains, you can use here with superheroes as leadership. You don't actually need her artifact, it's good to have it, but in the same time it's not providing you a lot for the PvP department and PvE department actually. In the same time, you can use her with a lot of CTPs. You can use her with PvE build and do PvP. You can use her with PvP build and do PvE. She is like the queen because you can use her without even a CTP. You can actually having an obelisk with a proc, a obelisk with invisible proc, whatever, and she can survive it. She has her own revive, as I told you, and that gives you the opportunity to use multiple times her 5th skill, which is the OG Super Guard Break immunity skill in the game. And this thing here, the Super Guard Break, makes your character head bunking over and over, and she can kill actually anyone. She is a menace, and the fact that she costs 6,000 crystals and do the epic quest and all this stuff, it's totally legit with the powerhouse she is. She is out of your mind good, and in my opinion, if you want to use her full on PvP, you want to give her a brilliant authority or mighty authority or a brilliant and mighty refinement, the egg. Other than that, a brilliant or a mighty grid also is really good, because the abuse ability helps too. But in my mind, you want, with a grid you can have some PvE value in the same time, but in my opinion, the best value out of here is use here for PvE, and with the PvE build do some PvP. With the PvE build you can't survive that much as the PvP build, but in the same time on the manual play you can have great results even with the raids. I'm using her even with a PvE build for PvP, and she's performing really good, and the fact that he has the leadership for the removal debuffs, and you don't need to use specific heroes or specific villains like you need with Thanos, gives here the opportunity to be used with multiple teams, with or without supports. So yeah, C's busted. C's for sure number 2, because yeah, the number 1, it's so strong. It's so strong, guys. And yes, you guessed it right. Number 1 is Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock came into the game a couple of months ago, and after that, he's all over the place. He don't need to be tier 4 to perform. He's actually, you're paying like a lot of crystals to get him, and the best case scenario to get him is Black Friday, as I did 2 years ago. You're going through Black Friday, buying him for 4,400 crystals, taking a refund for building him like 2,000 crystals, something 1,000 something or 2,000 close crystals back, and after you're buying the uniform for 1,500 crystals, so a total cost of maximum 3,800 crystals, I think, something like this, and you're having the absolute PvP unit. You don't need tier 4. As a level 80 or a level 70, he can kill actually anyone in the game. On the autoplay, on the manual play, he can kill everyone. You don't actually must have his artifact to perform. It's an extra healing, but yes, his really firepower, it's his revive and his second skill. His second skill is the skill of Thanos. So we're talking a character that has a meta ability from Thanos, which is the removes all debuff from the enemy. This removal debuff can strip off Wolverine, can strip off Ghost Rider, can strip off Carnage from their immortality and kill them immediately. So he is an absolute killer. He has his revive, he has everything you ever wish to have from a PvP character. His 5th skill, it's a long iframe. You're going into there, hiding yourself until you have your second skill again and do the killing. His other skills are killers too. You can use him, with multiple teams. You can use his own leadership and take advantage of the extra energy defense. But most of the times you're not gonna see him as a leadership. You're gonna see him as the main DPS of the PvP team you're going against. He totally worth it, and for Black Friday it's the best deal to go for. He's destroying the meta for timeline battle, for alliance conquest. If you have any Wolverines into the enemy team and you want to kill them for alliance conquest, Adam Warlock, it's your guy. He's going there and he's absolute killing everyone with his second skill. And yes, this is all you need, the beast here, which is Adam Warlock. Tier 4 gonna give him even more defensive, he gonna survive even more, but still he can do the killing easy peasy, and he is so strong. For Alliance Tournament, for Alliance Conquest, for Otherworld Battle, he's all over the place into the meta of the PvP. And yes, you're gonna build him and you're gonna be cool, chilling, having your timeline battle ready team, When he's gonna be banned, you're gonna pain because you're gonna be suffering because you paid all the crystals and he's going to be banned. He's a lot of banned lately, but yeah. Still, with the Mighty Greed, he's really strong. With the Mighty Authority, he's still strong. With the Mighty Energy, he's still strong. You can use actually a lot of CTPs. I would not suggest you to use something like Raids, because his best modes are all over the place PvP. So Mighty Energy and Mighty Greed, if you want to play on manual play, gonna give you a lot. He gonna, you can run around, do a second skill and kill, hide in your iframe with your 5th skill, and after do some killings again with your second skill. But if you want him to survive a bit more, you could use something like CTP of Conquest or Mighty Authority or Mighty Egg. Give him some extra survivability, and this I would suggest you mostly for the autoplay game modes like Otherworld Battle, Alliance Conquest, Alliance Tournament, with a CTP with a Brilliant or a Mighty CTP of Refinement. Adam is a nightmare to kill, he's healing over and over, he's healing, or he's popping out the bubble of egg, you know, he's so strong. He's so strong for everything in the game. He's the absolute character. If you want to build something for PvP, this is the first dude you should go for. And Black Friday is not far away. It's less than a month, so stay focused. If you want to play PvP, this is the #1 dog in the house, and you need him 100%. So, and as I told you in the start, I want to mention some supports that you need to have in your teams. You know, if you don't have like the top 3 tier 4 or the tier 4, all the tier 4s, or you don't have immortality artifacts, or you don't have all these units, I just saw you, you know, you should invest on someone like Colossus. It's absolute the best support in the game for PvP game modes. He provides you through his uniform a really good buff. Even if you have this uniform or the previous uniform, this Peter Will's effect that he says here, no, it's Peter's will. Yeah, this one gives you huge advantage against the enemy. So even if your Adam Warlock is not that good and you have this into your team, you can do more actually. Also, Hela, it's a really good character to use for PvP. For Colossus, you don't need his tier. As Colossus, actually, you don't need her being tier 3, you don't need her artifact, you don't need artifacts or anything. You just drop the characters with the last uniforms and you are getting a huge advantage against the enemies. And as I told you, most of the characters in the top 10 meta category of PvP, they are superheroes. You know, Adam Warlock, Wolverine, SpiderMan, all and Ghost Rider are superheroes, so you can take a huge advantage using her uniform. Also, Ancient One is one of the best characters to use. Same thing here, you actually need him to be tier 3 and be more durable and survive, because his main source of damage is the reflect he's doing through his passive ability, which is let me find it. Yeah, this passive ability actually, which reflects 35% of the energy damage received. This can kill Gan Grays, Adam Warlocks, and everyone who is doing energy damage against you really easy. And in the same time, you can take advantage on this you know, support buff and have some if you have Gan Gray, you can go against the enemy Gan Gray with a better build, and because you're gonna have Ancient One in your team up, you're gonna have more resist and you're gonna have more elemental damage, so he can help you kill everyone with your Gan Gray. And as the last best support to use, you know, these are really cheap supports. You don't actually need to have them at the top level, except Ancient One, who needs her tier 3 to perform. You know, also with Wasp here, you don't need anything. You don't need her uniform. She is having a passive ability to remove all debuffs, so this gives you the opportunity to give other leaderships and other support buffs, like the leadership of Adam Warlock, or generally any leadership you want to use. And in the same time, if you have here last uniforms, you are getting a extra layer of HP here to help you. But here, support buff, this one, it's the best support for a lot of teams that they are not having the remove all debuff on their kit. So yes, that was it, the list, the top 10 list. I mean, that's we have a lot of tier 4 guys, we have a lot of tier 4s, and people should focus on the game modes he loves to. The PvP game modes I was talking about is all over here, the arena, except Alliance Battle, which is PvE game mode, and they have him here for some reason. It's Timeline Battle, Otherworld Battle, Alliance Tournament, and Alliance Conquest. So yes, I hope I helped you decide your next tier 4. Hit me down below in the comments if you have a different opinion, if you think like someone else was the number 1 or someone else was the number 10, let's say, and let's fix the next top 10 with you together. Hit me down below in the comments. See you into the next. I hope you enjoyed. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and see you into the next. Until then, kisses in your faces.